Hello, students. In this chapter we are learning about collections. Collections are the core of knowledge in the whole Java's phase. So what are the properties of collections? What is its function? I hope you can understand. First, what is the collections? It is the ability to store multiple objects of different types. In fact, when it comes to this, many students will think of our previous array. Can't we also store multiple objects? But you have to pay attention. Array can only store multiple objects of the same data type, whereas the collections can store objects of different types. Another thing is that it can be stored in variable lengths. Compare that to counting an array. The length must be fixed when we create it. We can think of the collections as a variable length that can store different data types. That's why when you learn about collections, you need to compare it to an array. Which one has more advantages? In fact, there is no doubt. Arrays can do all the things collections can do. What the collections can do can't be done by an array. For example, dynamic expansion, a variable length. That's one of the great things about collections. Well, in addition, collections provide a lot of rich APIs to operate on. In this diagram, we can categorize them into collection and map. This is a family of collections. As the name suggests, collection stores one element at a time, while a map stores a pair of elements at a time. In this case, provides many possibilities for storing elements or objects to be stored. So collections has a top-level interface. Take a collection, for example. There are two sub-interfaces below it, but it's not just two. There's more than one, so the main ones are the list and set interfaces. So under list, there's ArrayList, linked list and vector. Look at the dotted lines. It's an interface type. It's an inheritance relationship. And this solid line, it is the implementation class, like this dotted line. This is the interface. When we use them, different implementation class, they have different functional characteristics. It's like a map. The top-level subinterface is called map. There are implementation classes underneath it, like the hashtable, hashmap and treemap. So the following are in an inheritance relationship. So what you mean by properties, for example, is the inheritance of hashtable, and linked hashmap is inherited hashmap. That the next study. To learn the main interfaces and core implementation classes. Well then, everyone look. There are several interfaces involved here. The first collection. It's the top-level interface of the collection. There are two sub-interfaces. One is list and the other is set. As a collection, can only store one element at a time. A map stores items one pair at a time. So for now, you need to be familiar with the names of these interfaces.